only took 5 months to get here. Let's unbox this CGC case and let's go through the price breakdowns of what it was worth in January to what it's worth now in May. Please leave a like while the intro plays. Welcome back to Basement Collectibles, and if you're new to the channel, my name is Jordan, and if you like CGC unboxings, toys, movies, and arcades, please consider subscribing for more great content. I made a video on January 28th, and I'll leave a link in the description below, of 10 books I was sending to CGC. Nothing crazy, a lot of cover price books, but at the time I was hoping that maybe the time I got this back before 2023, some of these hopefully will be spec'd on, or at least maybe some news about a possible show, or at least a movie. So let's check this out. I already got it cut open, but I haven't seen the grades, and also I'll go through what I paid for the book, and also what it was worth in January 28th, 2022. And of course, after the grades, we'll go over what they're worth now, and hopefully some of these books I can sell off again to put the money back into either the fees that I've been paying for from CGC, or books that I really want in my personal collection. So starting off with Never Never issue number 1, and I bought this for cover price, and I really appreciate you guys recommending this. I mentioned this before too. A few of you on the comment section said definitely check out Never Never. Really hoping for a 9.8 on this. Again, came right off the rack. Let's see what we got. 9.8. Perfect. Great start. So at the time in January, Never Never again for cover price, and it was worth about $80 US. And just doing a quick check of the case. So far, so good. There's a little bit of scuffing on the back, but again, at least it's on the back, not the front. And everything checks out so far. And on to book number 2. So Never Never, issue number 1, bought this for cover price as well. Same thing, was worth about $80 in a CGC 9.8. So I'm really hoping for another 9.8. But because they were both put together, I don't know, I would never have put them both together. Just gives the grader an opportunity to look at both of them, compare the two. So hopefully they just put them in when they were packaging. But let's see what we got. 9.8, great. So really great start. And another case that, yeah, just maybe a little scuffing on the back just because it has an all black cover. That's what I was worried about with this book, just with the all black cover. Just even getting it out of the bag and board could have some color rub on the back. And on to book number 3. Noctera issue number 1, and this is just the cover A. This is not the glow in the dark. I bought Noctera for about $15, and at the time in January, it was selling on eBay at least for about $115. And again, all these books, I'm hoping for a 9.8. 9.8, awesome, 3 for 3, and the cover looks great. Wait a minute, it is the glow in the dark cover, and unfortunately, they decided not to put glow in the dark on the top. So this is the first time I've had CGC not label the book correctly. And there's some scuffing on the back. So yeah, so this was the glow in the dark cover. I don't think you can pick up the glow in the dark on the actual cover of it. But yeah, glow in the dark cover and nothing on it. So I don't know, what would you guys do? Would you just leave it alone, or just maybe one day send this back to get relabeled? But I haven't gone through that process yet. But let me know in the comment section, is it worth obviously getting the new label, or at least relabeled to glow in the dark? And on to book number 4. Joker issue number 2, and at least it says it's the first appearance of Vengeance on the cover. And I bought this book again for cover price, and at the time in January it was going for about $85, and I'm really hoping for a 9.8 again on this. 9.8, great. So we're 4 for 4, one wrong label, and yeah, it looks like maybe just most of the backs just have a little bit of scuffing on it. And on to book number 5. So Eat the Rich, this is the Jenny Frison cover, and I ended up switching this. There was a couple books after I did the video and you guys had a couple choices to pick for the 10th book. I ended up going back in another light and there was just a couple imperfections on it and it wasn't even worth trying to press out. So I ended up switching this up, getting this Jenny Frison cover. I'm a big fan of Jenny Frison. I only have a few of her covers in a CGC 9.8, so I thought this would be a great book to get. And so hopefully we can stick with the 9.8s. 9.8, great. Really like this cover. Didn't get too much into this story yet. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed reading Eat the Rich. And again, the case looks great. And another Jenny Frison to add to the collection. And because this did make the original video, I didn't have anything written down on the value of this book. So I'll definitely put it down below if there was a value on the 9.8 in around January. And on to book number 6. And again, we're 5 for 5 in the 9.8 and then the 9.8. So let's see if we can keep it going. Eve, issue number 1. I really enjoyed this story and I bought this book for about $20, and at the time in January it was selling for about $75. It actually was even worth even more a few months before that, but really enjoyed this miniseries. If you haven't had a chance, highly recommend reading Eve. And again, I'm really hoping this 9.8, again, I got it off, I think I bought it off eBay, so let's see if eBay didn't let me down. 9.8, great, 6 for 6, and this case looks even better than the last couple. And on to book number 7. Not All Robots, issue number 1, and I think this was because a couple of the books that I had in the original pile did make the cut, and this one looked the sharpest, I guess you can say, in the newest issues that I have. Could be a mistake putting this, or at least getting graded in CGC, but I'll look up the values afterwards. And again, I just bought this for cover price, and I don't know what it was currently going for in January, but let's see what we got. 9.6. So didn't even really want to put this into the 10 book submission, and I ended up getting a 9.6. So I guess live and learn on that. If you're having any doubts on a book, it's not worth maybe having that 50-50 chance to get a 9.8, but I thought it was going to make the mark. Again, it's black on the front, brown on the back, but I didn't see any imperfections on it. So there goes my perfect score. But if anybody wants a 9.6, message me on Not All Robots. And on to book number 8. We have Gun Honey, issue number 1, and this is a Hughes variant cover. Bought this for cover price. I actually had 2 copies and I gave one away on a video months ago. So again, hoping for a 9.8 on Gun Honey. 9.8, great. So at least we're back in the win column on the 9.8s. And again, I bought this for cover price and it was going for about $100 in January in 2022. And on to book number 9. Geiger, issue number 1, and this is the glow-in-the-dark edition, and they actually put it on the label. So thank you, CGC, for at least getting one of the 2 glow-in-the-dark books right. So Geiger, for the glow-in-the-dark, I bought this for cover price, and at the time in January, it's going for only $50. So pretty much breaking even on this if I was to sell this with all the fees and everything else. But Geiger, issue number 1, a great series. Again, if you haven't had a chance to read the series, I highly recommend it. And let's see what we got. 9.8, great. So far we are 8 for 9 in the 9.8s. Then on to book number 10. From Image, Geiger, issue number 1, and this is the cover A copy. And I bought this for cover price, and it was going for $95 in the 9.8. So let's see if we can finish off strong. 9.8, great. So we went 9 for 10 in the 9.8s, and of course the only 9.8 I didn't get was a book I threw in right at the very end just before I mailed it in. So definitely have to make sure if I'm going to throw in the extra book, it's hopefully not going to be an all black cover. But again, really enjoy this series, so definitely check it out. And I'm going to go back now, so if you're done, you just enjoyed the unboxing, you have to go. Appreciate you watching until now, but if you want to wait for a second, I'm going to check all the grades and let's see what they're worth now in May 2022. And I'm back. Thanks for waiting. So starting off with Images, Geiger, issue number 1. Again, I bought this for cover price. It was selling for about $95 in January, and now it's currently only selling for about $75. So because I already own this in my personal, or I at least have this in my personal collection, this is something that I'll be looking to sell. But I think it's best just to hold on to it, and hopefully some more news comes about it, or maybe a little more popularity comes when they start bringing out more issues of Geiger. And for book number 2, Geiger issue number 1, the glow-in-the-dark cover, and it was currently selling for $50 in January, but now it's only selling for around $45 to the $50 mark. So hasn't gone up in price. Really like this cover. I like the good old glow-in-the-dark covers, just like Ghost Rider back in the 90s. So again, I'm going to hold on to this book, and hopefully there will be some news one day about Geiger. Next book up, Gun Honey, issue number 1 in a 9.8. And at the time, again, I bought this for cover price. It was selling for $100 in January, and now it's down to about $80. So this definitely had some popularity in the first couple months, but it's the same thing. The time you get it back to CGC, the popularity normally dies down. So with something like this, maybe I can just sell it again for $80 for my $35 fees plus the cover price of around $40. So even with a $40 profit or up just for a great cover, I might consider putting this online to sell. The next book up, Eve from Boom Studios, issue number 1 in a 9.8, and I bought this for about around $20. It was selling for $75, and now it's currently selling for $70. So nothing crazy in terms of return on investment on this book, but I do really enjoy this story, and I don't own this, so this probably will stay in my personal collection. From DC, Joker issue number 2, and again, this is the first appearance of Vengeance, and it's on the label, so that helps. And for Joker number 2, bought it for cover price, selling for around $85 at the time, and unfortunately now it's selling for around $60. So again, something that I might just keep from my personal collection. I was a huge fan of Bane, so just another thing to add in my, let's call it Bane collection. So for now, I'm just going to hold on to Joker issue number 2. Next book up from Image, Noctera issue number 1, and this is the glow-in-the-dark copy, even though CGC decided to not look at it that closely and just called it the cover A. But again, Noctera issue number 1 and the glow-in-the-dark copy. Again, I bought this for $15. It was selling for around $115, and I'm glad I was able to sell my other glow-in-the-dark copy at the time when the news broke about Netflix possibly having a TV show. I believe it was for over $150 for the glow-in-the-dark copy, because right now it's selling for around $90 to $95. So it looks like I'll be keeping this book for the foreseeable future, and I'm glad I was able to sell my extra copy off. And 2 books up, Never Never issue number 1 in a CGC 9.8, and again I bought these 2 for cover price, and I was they were selling for about $80 in January. Now they're selling for around $70 currently, so most likely I'll be keeping one and selling off the other just to pay off all the fees. Next book up from Boom Studios, Eat the Rich, issue number 1 in a 9.8, and I didn't have any pricings on January for this, but bought this for cover price, and it looks like you can get this for around $35 to $40, depending on how much you want to pay for shipping via eBay and that. So I was looking to have this, or at least keep this in my personal collection, and with what it's going for right now, it's definitely worth just keeping and enjoying it on my wall. So last but not least, and I'm still scratching my head on why I even submitted this book, Not All Robots, issue number 1, and to make matters worse, I got a 9.6 out of it. And surprise, surprise, I couldn't find any sales data on a 9.6, so it's probably just worth its weight in plastic. So it looks like I'm going to be keeping this and just enjoying the cover until maybe something happens with this series, but who knows. But again, I guess I should just be happy with the grades that I received, because it seems recently CGC has been pretty harsh on even modern books. So I'm glad I got 9 out of 10 on this, but I was really hoping for the 10 out of 10. Again, I triple checked all these books, but even though there's nothing on the outside, who knows? And I'll see if there's any graders notes on this. But yeah, again, if you're looking for a Not All Robots CGC 9.6, or at least have something in a CGC label, definitely look me up on my email. So for the price breakdown, for all 10 books, the comics and the CGC fees came to about $405. And for the 10 books that are valued currently right now in May 2022, if I was to sell all 10 books right now, would come to about $650. That's a profit of about $245. So not the biggest profit by any means, but again, a few of these books I was going to keep, and hopefully some that I could sell off. It could look like that 60% of these books could be stored in a box for a while until some news breaks. But I'll see what I'm going to do. This was kind of a submission, like an in-between, where I wanted to get 10 books out. I had a couple books in mind, and I guess it was a couple months in between, so I wanted to send them out thinking I wasn't going to get these books back probably closer to the fall. So again, I'm happy with the grades. Not a big return on investment, but I'm just glad they got back safe. Nothing broke. broken, nothing really scratched, just a couple things on the, or scuff marks on the back. But definitely my next CGC submission, hopefully we'll have a better return on investment. So that's it for this video, but please let me know in the comments which books were your favorite, which series are your favorite out of these 10 books as well. Are you reading any of these books? Or hopefully now that we've gone through it, maybe you'll pick up a couple and check them out for yourselves. But again, I really appreciate you watching till the end. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And on your way out, if you can possibly leave a like or any comment as well, helps at least get this video noticed. And I'll see everybody on the next one. Take care.